Hoorah. This is our last time together, and I'm just happy to be with you myself. And I want to ask you to think about how you've changed over this semester. So think about it for a little bit, and we're going to go around and talk about how you've changed and what you learned, and how you're not the same person you started out the semester with us. So, and then I'm going to do something else, but I wanted to do that first. And let's see, who's ready to start? Oh, good.
I like to get things out of the way. I feel like before this experience, I felt like I needed to be in control of like I have a stepdaughter, and I felt like if she didn't do what I said, it like made me irritated. So this experience has helped me to realize, or like not, I mean I guess realize, but make me not want to be so bossy. I guess is that making sense? Like if the kid is sucking her fingers, it doesn't make me actually mad like it used to make me mad when I would say, please don't suck your fingers, and they would still do it. I used to get like upset about them still doing it, but now I realize, they're own people, they're wanting to learn and correct themselves instead of me feeling like I had the power.
That's a huge awareness, isn't it?
It makes you happier to know it.
It does. It makes you step back and realize that this child needs to learn to take care of themselves. And the longer we're in there doing it for them, the less they're ever going to be. And the more we make them mad, what happens to them? What? They get frustrated.
They get mad at you too.
They get mad at you. They rebel against it. I'm just shocked at how inadequate most people are with children. Have you realized that when you've been out and around this semester to watch? I went to a funeral on Saturday, and there was a child there, and the child was 5 years old, and the mother was just totally fussing at the child. Fuss, 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 fuss. And then the child found some toys and wanted to go play with the toys. And I said, no, you're not going to play with those toys. No, you're not going to play with those toys. No, you're not going to play with those toys. And the child said, please, please, please. And she said, okay, well, just for a few minutes. Okay, what did she just do?
You want to get it.
Yeah, why do you get it? I mean, don't all of you just see that all the time? Do you say yes?
Yeah.
Please tell me yes.
Yeah, I'm more aware of it now.
Now, yeah, because now you're aware of it. And then she went over and reluctantly let her start playing with the toys. And she said, now you've got to come. And if you come, I'll buy you a toy. And the child didn't want to come. I don't want to come. I don't want. She said, you're being bad. You're being bad. And she said, if you're bad, I won't buy you a toy. And the child said, I'm not being bad. I mean, just labeling a child bad because she was playing with the toys. It just grieves my heart. And I wanted to say, honey, you need so much help. And so she finally screamed. I mean, she went and grabbed her and screamed and said, now you're not going to get a toy. And I'm sure she got it. I'm sure she got it. But it's just everywhere. And I hope that you're seeing that and you're feeling like you have such better skills. So are you feeling better about your
Well,
stepdaughter?
we had a bad day last week, but other than that, the last few months it's been really good. Everything's going good. We're having trouble, like, her sleeping in the bed by herself again. Like, she was over it, but now she just, like, whines all night. So I think today we're starting a new chart, like, a behavior because I really do try.
So did
Because I
you,
did it for myself, but now I'm a different.
Did you give in to her and let her in your bed?
She's never slept in our bed,
Oh.
no, but, you know, she sleeps with people at her other house. So when she's at our house, it's kind of hard for her to adjust back to sleeping in her own bed.
I see.
So it used to, like, every week we'd have to start over, but then she was doing better. But last week she just had one hard day.
Then what happens at night? Does she cry a lot?
Yeah, she just cries. And, I mean, she has, like, these, am I talking too much? She has these, like, oh, no, camera.
No, you're okay.
She has these questions that she has to ask before I leave the bedroom, like, nothing's going to happen to me, will you check on me when I'm sleeping? She has to ask, like, these same questions or it just won't, she'll never go to bed, but she'll ask them and then most of the time she's fine, but last week she asked them and then she started crying. I can do it. But she has to go to bed, she has to wake up for school, so.
Well, let me just give you a little bit of a hint about bed. And what I suggest to people, and I've done this forever, is that you tell them that they're going to bed at a certain time and you have a procedure and you go through that procedure every night, and it might be 2 books and a song and a couple other things. And then you tell them that when that is over, that you'll stay there for 5 minutes and then you'll leave, or you don't stay there at all,
Yeah,
whatever your procedure is. And then say after that, the next time we talk will be morning, and we won't talk anymore until morning. And then if the child gets out of their bed, you take them back to the bed and you don't talk anymore. And I tell you, this is the hard thing to do at first, but it works. And I've known a child who got out 50 times the first night. And the parent did what I suggested, and just took them back to their bed without talking to them. The talking wakes a child up and engages you. And when they can no longer engage you, then it's not as interesting to get up. So if you tell children you will just talk to them in the morning, and then you take them back. The first night they counted 50 times that the child got up, and they just took her back in. And then the next night it was like 25, and then the next night it was like 2. And you can quickly get rid of that. And so you go, and I always suggest too, that you go when a child wakes up in the night, that you go in immediately, because you want to make sure that they're okay. You want to make sure they haven't thrown up, or that their arms aren't out of the crib, that something hasn't happened. So you go in right away when the child wakes up in the night, rather than waiting there for 10 minutes until the child's hysterical. You go back in, you pat the child, put them down, whatever you need to do, and then leave, and but you don't do it. The not talking is very, very, very important, because it doesn't engage you and it doesn't engage the child, but the child knows you're there. So every time the child wakes up, I would go in and make sure that they're okay. And I can't tell you how many parents have been successful with what I'm suggesting. It's not the only way to get children. Hi, Ebony, come say your seat. It's not the only way to get children to be successful, but in sleeping through the night, but it really does help. Anybody want to ask any questions about that? Okay, thanks, Brooke. Ebony, I asked everybody to think about how they're different from what they were when they started the course, and what you learned. And so I'm asking that you talk about that to us. This is the first one, so she can say what else we do.
I found the one-on-ones are very useful for me with my son, and I would be very impatient. So I think they taught me patience, and I've used the strategies instead of getting upset with him, he doesn't want to do something. I let him choices and doing things. So I feel like I've become more understanding and patient and knowing what to do instead versus yelling. And it's helped him and it's helped me because I'm less angry with him at times. Because he has a hard time doing his homework. He just doesn't want to do it. So I've used some strategies. When you do your homework, then you can do this, you know. When he does his homework, I praise him and all that. And it's helped me and him both. So we're getting along better in that regard.
Have you tried the timer?
Yes, I have tried the timer. I've tried it actually in the morning because when he gets dressed in the morning, I've tried it for several reasons, but lately I've been using it for the morning. He takes forever to get dressed in the morning. It's just, it could be an hour if I let it. So I started the timer and I'm like, okay, you got like I'll set it for 5 minutes because that's all it should really take him. I have the clothes laid out for him already. And he's like rushing the timer trying to get dressed and it works great.
Really?
Yeah.
When he gets it done, by the time the timer goes off, is there any?
He gets a
reward?
quarter. Yes. Yep.
See, what we want is for these good habits to become something that they do all the time. So you want it to become habitual. So we usually give up too soon.
Mhm.
And it takes a while, it takes a long time. I mean, it took me years to really want to run, to really want to exercise. Years. I had to reward myself for a long, long time. And then eventually I realized that I have so much better day when I exercise. So I exercise every morning, and I just have to. If I don't, I just don't feel good about myself. But that took a long, long time. So you have to be patient with yourself, and you have to be patient with children. And people say, "Oh, that didn't work." Well, how long did you try? And you have to continue to reward the children with something. And remember, the intermittent reinforcement is the way that makes it last longer. So eventually, you can say every so often, I'm going to give you a little more. And then it might be today and it might not be. So you can change up. But I'm glad you're feeling better. Remember that the incompatible alternative to yelling is what? Whispering. So I hope all of you have learned to whisper. I hope that, and that is a huge benefit to you. You can just whisper. So you have to calm yourself down when you feel like yelling. Walk away, take a deep breath, look out the window, whatever, until you can whisper. And you can whisper like this. It's totally bad. But if you whisper, it's going to come across different. So it doesn't mean you don't get mad, but it means that you don't yell. Because yelling just turns somebody off. Just makes them mad. I don't care who you're yelling at. It's not going to help the situation any better. It may temporarily get their reaction, but it certainly isn't going to be permanent. Because they're going to be mad. And that applies to significant others, boyfriends, husbands, mothers. Roommates, whoever you're challenges. Maybe there's okay, that's me.
I would say I learned how to be more patient, especially being here and understanding that the simple task of cutting is not easy. Like it's easy for us, but it's not easy for them because they're learning.
So how do you deal with that when a child's having trouble?
I know with class and English office class, some of the kids put the scissors the wrong way. So I show them which way to do it, and then I actually sit there and wait until they finish it.
And do you model it too? You show them the right way?
Sometimes.
Yeah. It's a good idea to always model the behavior you want to show them and see if you can do it the way I'm doing it. See if you can hold the scissors the way I'm holding. So patience, that's good. Do you have opportunities to speak with children?
No.
No.
Actually, I'm living on campus, so
Oh, okay.
members, so I've been using the one-on-one before this class. So,
What
yeah.
works the best over there?
Take a break. The choices. You give them 2 choices. Or like, especially for washing hands, or changing diapers, I do you want to hop or do you want to walk?
Oh, good.
And they, most of the time they end up doing hopping or we do an airplane. The main one that sometimes we use is the walk away. If they're like getting one of their friends, so we need to walk away.
Walk away friend, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, they call everybody friend. That's nice. And remember to smile, all of you. Just honestly, smiling just helps everything. It helps, even if you don't, I mean, you don't have to feel like smiling. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a sincere smile. Smile that you're just making yourself put on your face. I'm looking for smiles. Let me see. Honestly, you need to practice. It really is. It really, it makes everything go better. And once you smile, it makes you lighten up too. It really does. It helps you as well. And like I say, it doesn't have to be sincere. Okay, thanks. Okay.
I had a lot of anxiety about having my own classroom because you always have like a vision of how you want it to be, and then it's like it's all on you basically, and you're like, what if I fail kind of thing. And I've done a lot of observations and practicums and been in a lot of classrooms, but I think this practicum in the public school finally was like the last piece for me to be like, okay, this is exactly what I'm gonna do. Like I learned what I do and don't want to do from that practicum. So now I'm much more confident because I know exactly what the first day of school is going to be like when I have my own classroom, you know, and so I'm excited about it now. Less anxious.
That's neat. Well, what have you learned here from being
Through both of them, it's been the procedures thing. That's what I was lacking when I was in a classroom. The procedures have to be precise and every single day, all the time, with the same consequences for action. I mean, I just wasn't in control enough of procedures and making sure the child did every step of every procedure every day so that it ran smoothly every day. It would change a little bit because there was something different that day, or less children, or I was stressed out, I had to fix something. So now I know how it's going to be. So in the practicing, like the first day, like this is how we line up. Okay, let's try that again, and not, all that. That's what I'm excited about.
I wish all of you could watch Kathy Verdelis teach. I mean, every time I went to her class, it was so inspiring. And she has such a gentle spirit about her. But she was so, let's practice that again. You almost got it that time. And that's so different from the way that most teachers handle children. And the children want to please her. They really wanted to do it the right way, but she was just adamant about the procedures until they got it. What have you seen that you didn't want to do in the public school or here?
Well, the classroom I was in public school, she has 0 behavior problems. I mean, it's like boot camp in there, like kindergarten boot camp. They come in, they walk with their hands behind their back in the classroom. They always speak in whisper voices. They never speak out of turn. It's insane. They come in and sign their name in when they, like if it's a sign-in sheet where they sign their own name and do all, I mean, it is crazy. I just was in shock the first day, which it's great because the amount of instruction is insane. And I thought she had the gifted classroom, and it was actually the lowest scoring kids in the school because she had them just so much instruction every day. But there's no like, it's not very personal. The kids they want to please her, but it's not because it's not real strong relationship as far. Yeah, and her consequences aren't, she doesn't have like horrible consequences, they just want to please her because she's very stern. And she says the opposite of you, she says the first 2 weeks you do not smile at all.
Oh, gosh, I can't.
And I was like, I can't, I think I automatically smile all the time, so I can't do it, but I wish it was more personable in there, so.
She
I wanna
really
make
said the
sure.
first 2 weeks, she didn't.
She said, and she had to tell her assistant, she was like, I had to train her the first 2 weeks, we do not smile, that works.
Oh. Would you hate to send your child there?
I know, that's because her classroom is just perfectly run and they learn so much, but there's no like personable exchanges and,
What's
you know,
school is
goofiness.
this?
And, what's that?
What school?
Pembroke Elementary School in Virginia Beach. But she welcomes observers if y'all ever want to go and see what I mean, because it is crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
That was kindergarten?
It is, you would not believe.
Does she smile now?
She does, but she's not goofy. I think, and she was like, she would explain to me, you know, if you're goofy with kindergartners, you can't expect them to change right back to being serious and do their work. So if you want to be goofy, you have to be goofy and let them be goofy and not expect them to go back. So maybe that's my problem, but I like being goofy. So I don't think I'll be able to change that.
We have to have Billy McConnell, I think, did he share with you all when he was with you about how you had to have a way to stop the behavior, and he always had a way that always worked for you, and he let them know what that was.
I think that could be part of the procedure. So
Yes,
you
it
can
would
be
be good.
goofy
Yeah.
and have a procedure that they practice with, and they get back to work and they're serious. So.
Exactly. Okay, thanks. He hasn't even done her practicums yet.
Well, the classroom that I'm in, she is not familiar with your positive discipline. She came from Louisiana, so I actually introduced it to her. But it's like good working together because she uses them, but she just doesn't know that like that's who they are. So she had been trying to use them more since I've been there, and then we were picking one to focus on every week. And reading the book the last book that we just read, for me, I think it was interesting because I learned a lot of things, and I want to work in a Title I school. I'm actually going to apply for Teacher America next year too. So
You are?
yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it helped me learn a lot about the education and working with kids.
So did you like Kathy Dennis's presentation?
Yes. Yes. So I'm at a Title I school right now. So
Are you, which school?
that's how I look. My school is huge.
They do. But your teacher's positive?
Yeah, she's positive. It's one thing in there that I don't like that she does. It's like when the kids want attention, she sets a timer and she makes them stand up.
Like if they're acting out, like.
She'd be like, you want attention, set the timer and move your seat. So they stand up for 5 minutes. So I feel like that's like boot camp.
Embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is embarrassing.
Think about whether you'd want your child to do that. And that's a good, or whether you want to do it yourself. Someone told me this thing.
Yeah.
I'd be so embarrassed. Okay,
Something I learned is like just how like observant and like these kids can be like when I'm in my meat bag. I have a picture of me from a couple of years ago. I'm like, how come you have glasses on there, but you don't have glasses now? I'm like, I didn't even think of that when I wrote this picture. And just the things don't come out of their mouth or like, I did not know you knew that word, or you know, like her kids use words like confident and strategy and just different things. It's so funny.
children see everything. Do you notice that? It's just unbelievable. Last week I was in a classroom and these children were saying, "Why do you have a Band-Aid?" It's so cute. Oh my gosh.
I saw a video last night about this couple, and they're both teachers, and they went to teach in this like little tiny town in Alaska, and lady, she was teaching social studies, and she told the kids, like, you know, you need to bring your supplies in. You know, I saw that you guys grabbed pencils from the pencil can. That's okay, today's the first day, and you don't know, but from now on, if you don't bring your supplies and you grab a pencil from the pencil can, you have to leave your shoe by there, and so you'll remember to put the pencil back, because you're going to get your shoe. And so she was like, so wear clean socks, make sure they don't have holes, unless you have cute nail polish.
Oh, did she? Well, that's a good way to remember. You just leave your shoe. Ruben, tell us what you learned this semester. He's been a good sport.
Attitude adjustments, encouragement, and patience. Basically, at home, every day I come home, my brother's in my room. So, you know, having him in my room all the time is just, yeah, I need my space on, so you gotta get out. So, I have patience with that. Talking about school, how to handle certain things, like, just sometimes I don't like staying back. I like going to judo. I like throwing the day off tomorrow. I know you want to play football. And my dad told him, I told him, like, on his birthday, he said, active. So he's telling me, I don't want to play, I don't want to go to judo no more. I want to play football. If I was football, I put like gloves, Under Armour, and basic things like that. Also, attitude adjustment. I love all I was talking about. Come home. I don't smile. I mean, I smile, but you know, I have my own time. So I don't get in the mood. I don't get in the mood like that. So when you be outside the house for a long time, come home, I just like chill, watch TV.
Well, tell me what you learned when you were in
Here,
classroom. Here.
using choice principles, and like I said, having patience. But you know, working on my mom before, I didn't have patience with the kids. Just in the fact, like, getting them to listen. Because when I was working there before, the kids were between 1 and 2 years old. And now I'm over here working with kids 2 and 3 years old. Just having patience, because it's more, I got more patience with kids between 2 and 3 versus 1 and 2, because listening wise, you're not going to listen to this. I mean, but listen now though, because they understand my eyes. And like, it just, I guess, another favorite versus the female thing, not against y'all, but it's totally different though.
Oh, yeah. When he walks into a classroom, everybody wants a piece of him.
Yeah.
All he has to do is sit down on the floor and you're all.
That's so frustrating.
I know. You've been a good sport this semester.
That's about it.
I think one thing I've learned is you can plan and plan and plan, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, it'll go really fast, and you're like, what do I do with this 20 extra minutes? Or it'll take way too much time, and you won't have enough time to get it done. So it's been nice to actually practice lessons, because I know we've made a lot in our classes and turned them in, but haven't actually executed them. So that's been a challenge. It's been fun though.
What have you learned about children?
They say anything that's on their mind. But I fell in love with every single kid here. I mean, they're just great. I've used take a break a lot. Like in circle time, you're like, do you need to take a break? And usually they're like, no, and then they're fine. But and then the choice principle, when you're getting them to go to centers, like if they don't want to come, say, do you want to come in 1 minute or 2? And usually that works.
Yeah, the timer really works well. Well, let me see. How have you changed about from yourself as far as being in the classroom position? That you modeled her some.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Along with the lesson plan thing, you just have to know how to go with it. Figure something out to do. The other day I brought him my guitar and we played.
You did?
Yeah, and we sang, which was fun. We sang Yellow Submarine. We were learning about submarines. And they loved it. We ended up doing it a lot and sang Green Submarine and Rainbow Submarine. It was a ton of fun. So.
Music is so mesmerizing for children, so if you can play the guitar, that would be. Okay, let's see.
I've learned to use the one-on-ones more often, because especially with, I babysit my friend's son, he just turned 3, and I've learned to have more of an influence on his dad, because he's like, he spanks him, and he like yells at him, and like any time I'm there, like we're there together, I try to tell him the different principles, and I think the biggest one that he uses is the choice principle. I used it once to show him how it would work, and when something else came up, he tried it, and it just like worked right away. Instead of just yelling or saying, "Do you want to go in timeout?" I'm like, "No, don't say that. Just give him." And so he would practice. But that's one of the major things that has influenced me currently, is just getting to know the one-on-ones well and sharing it with somebody. If I, especially if it's a friend, if I see how they, I guess, interact with their child or treat their child, I try to bring up one of them to say, try this and see if it works. And then the time that we spend like together, like hanging out, to see if something else comes up, he could use one of the one-on-ones that I taught him to see if it worked out. Usually it works out. Sometimes his son's like confused as to what he's saying, like the bunny planet I explained to him, and his son was like, what's that? And like he's definitely in the stage now where he's like asking why after every single thing you say. So I have a hard time dealing with that because it just keeps going, but yeah, just influencing other people.
Oftentimes when children say why, what they want you to do is just stay engaged with them. So they don't really care that much about why. They just want you to not leave them. So you can talk about something else, you can bring up something else, but children want so much for you to stay engaged with them. Most children don't have anybody engaged with them. People really aren't on their level, and so if you could just get on their eye level and whisper to them, I mean, that's just everything. How old is this child? So you get along with him?
Oh yeah, all the time. He always likes to come over because my boyfriend and I just got a puppy, and so he loves. I mean, he gets a little beat up by the puppies, but he loves to come over and play with them. So he comes over more often. I mean, he's still. I'm sure I think his dad still spanks him. And one of the things I meant to get to him, which I haven't yet, was the like why spanking isn't good article that we have. So I'm gonna try that and see, because he's one of the people that's like, I was spanking, I was little, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So
Do you receive that well? Like when you try to like share with him, like feel like you're protecting him?
no,
So I
not
have
at
friends
all.
too, but I don't really.
No, not at all. We're
So
really
you-
good friends. Like I try to make it so it doesn't seem like I'm not saying directly like you're doing this wrong or like there's something better you can do. So I just say, hey, you should try, just see if it works. It's like, and he knows like the program I'm in, and like I've explained to him like what I learned in school. So he's not even like offended if I bring it. He just can't get over the, I don't know how I cannot spank him. So maybe the.
Okay.
So me, my boyfriend Tim, and Aiden's house finally, and Aiden is 5, and he's in this really difficult stage where he just tells you no, and he tells you I don't want to, and he like throws these fits. So I feel like in this
Does
class,
he live with you?
I feel like in this class I've gained more tools to deal with him. And Tim actually is taking what I've learned to heart too, which is really nice. Because usually he's very one-sided. But he's listening to what I'm saying and taking in everything that I have to say about Aiden. And it's working really, really well. I'm trying to think. We use a lot of them. One of the main things we do in our house, which I already told you in class, is
does it go over well when you sing it?
Yeah, because we end up laughing at each other. Because we really like work hard at each other. So, we're very good.
So you're an instant mom here with Aiden, is that right? Does he have contact with his mom? Let me just warn you all that that's always a tough relationship where the child has two moms or two dads. It's really tough because they use that against you, and the more you can let the parent of the child do the disciplining, the better it is, as opposed to you're trying to do it, because they will just see you as you're not the mom, and that's always tough. So the best advice is to establish a good relationship with that child, find their sweet spot, find their good points, and bring them out and let them know how much you admire them and how much you care about them.
I think the good thing is though, I came into the picture early enough where he doesn't necessarily look at me like that. Because she wasn't in the picture when I came into the picture, so
Okay.
I didn't really know each other was like that. But yeah, it's the only hard thing is, and now at her house she doesn't have rules, and we do. So of course when we lay down rules and stuff, I just don't really want to. You know he wants to go there because he's not going to do anything for himself. But, and it's hard to hear him say that, but eventually he'll know that we're doing the right thing for him, and he'll be grateful actually one day. And he has just self-discipline and respect.
And the calmer you are about that, and the more you can just say, well, you're here, and this is the way it is here, then the better off the child is. A child can realize that one person has one set of rules and another person has another set of rules, and as long as you're consistent with your set of rules, they can adjust to that just fine. For example, classrooms will have one teacher and and the children are out of control and they're yelling, and the children go down the hall to another teacher and everything's different. Well, the only thing that's different is the teacher, and so they know that the teacher has different expectations and different requirements. So children can change immediately when they know that the person is consistent.
Okay. Well, I do think that I have, improved since, last semester or last year even. I think this practicum has made me be more responsible, especially being here. I have to be here every single day. I don't get to make my own hours, which I was really liking. So, getting here, it's a good thing I did my VIP on getting up early, because that helped. But getting up early has never been easy for me. So I've been successful at that, being able to come in and, making sure I have, enough sleep from the night before, or disciplining myself when I haven't had enough sleep the night before. So feel a little bit more like a teacher, or dress a little bit more like a teacher. And the one-on-ones definitely have been even good. I've had some practice with that, and I do have nephews and nieces that I've also used them on. And the two big ones I keep hearing that I guess you guys like a lot too is the timer and the choice one. Just seems to work really well. Especially the kids in the centers, if they don't want to continue doing centers, I can ask them, do you want to go to the art center, or do you want to go to the language center, and get them to go that way.
Have you had to say you choose or I'll choose?
I have, yeah. And I've had to choose before too. And I also learned, because I do feel that I do want the kids to like me. I do, and I think I do a good job with bonding with the kids. And I did notice that, and I don't know this for you even told me this before. At first, I was a little bit too friendly with them, and I had to, develop that voice. Okay, I'm serious. So it's finding the balance, because I don't want to come off as mean, but I don't want to come off as a pushover or just so.
And it takes a while to find your bottom line, and everybody's bottom line is a little different. but she's kind. She's nice and kind to the children. And you can tell all your teachers have their bottom line, I'm sure. And the children understand that, not to cross over it. And if they do cross over it, they know that, oops, I've crossed over it, and I'm gonna have to deal with that. So be patient with yourself, and realize that it's not quite there yet for you. But it will be. Jessica?
Well, like,
Are you gonna say something else?
No.
I've learned that you really have to rely on your cooperating teachers or anyone that is here. Everyone's been really helpful here at the Child Study Center. Any resources that I need, they're there to help me. I mean, even Miss Brady, I'm not even in her classroom. She came over the other day. I have these books and you can do this and that. You know, Miss Pearson, any teacher here has been so, you know, opening to all of us. And I feel like we all should take away that when we go on to wherever we're going to teach, because not all teachers are going to be like that. But I really like the bond that we have all, you know, we all formed, and now it's going to be taken away from us. We're not going to be able to work together. But I've just learned that when in doubt, you know, ask somebody, call on somebody, ask a friend, how did this go when you did this, you know. So it's been really nice to be able to rely on others to help, you know, because it's very overwhelming. The anxiety level is like really stressful, but it's nice to be able to talk to other girls and other teachers here to help us get through it. So I know when I go teach, I'll be more than willing to, you know, help anyone else that I can, teachers, students, parents, whatever I can do. So that's one thing that I can say. Because before, in undergrad, you know, I work really hard on my stuff, and I take a lot of pride in my work, and I'm like, this is my work. You know, nobody's getting this, they're not getting their hands on this, you know. I'm going to be the good teacher, but my attitude's like completely changed. Like if I ever needed help with anything, like, or if anybody needed help, like I've noticed I've offered my help to Brooke. Like, you know, call me, you know, email me, I can help you with your centers, like anything you need, just I'm here. So I think that's changed me a lot. Need somebody to vent to, I call Natalie.
I've often wanted to, for us to establish a way to stay connected to our first year teachers.
I think that would be good.
I really do. I think it would be good to stay connected to them and have them come in every now and then, but have a chat that you could go to say, is anybody else having this problem? Because it's lonely out there. One advantage to where you are now is that you have a lot of freedom, but once you get a job, you have no freedom. You are stuck there, and you're stuck there from 8 o'clock in the morning till 3, till 4, or maybe even more hours, and it's lonely because you don't have somebody to talk to. So I've always thought that we should stay connected to our first year teachers. I wish there was a way.
We should launch Facebook.
I know.
We use first year teacher more or something like that, you know.
Maybe I can do that. I would really like to. Then if you have any ideas, let me know. Because you will be student teaching in the fall, you will be.
Yes.
Good. And that's a good group of people because you usually have seminar with people that your supervisor has. How many of you are early childhood? Hopefully we'll all be together in the seminar, and that's a big advantage too.
You're the teacher for that?
Huh?
You're the teacher?
Well, I attend the seminars, and actually they're coming to my house for dinner. All of the people.
Like the seminar, like,
I'll be out like in another state, so
Oh,
is
you
that
will?
something I have to make out, or what will I do?
You will have a supervisor there, and the university will provide that supervisor for you. The supervisor will visit you at least every other week, and probably have some seminars with you too.
I think that I've learned how to communicate better. I talk a lot, talk a lot. I know I talk a lot. How can I change that? So that's kind of what I set myself up to do. And not only do I notice in the classroom, but at home, my daughter, with other relationships that I have. It's been good. It's definitely been beneficial. Seeing them work their way through problems, other than, well, this is how you need to solve this. This is what you need to do. My way is right. Your way is wrong.
Tell us how it's affected your relationship with you.
Well, she's kind of chatty like mom.
That's a good thing.
It's great. But now she has time to talk back to me versus just having to hear what I say. I've tried to make more of a conscious effort of, in the car, instead of letting her listen to like her little church songs that she loves, trying to talk with her more, and then it being like between, okay, well, when we get home or when we turn in the neighborhood, we'll put on your favorite song. Because she has one that she's good at. She loves to sing. And she does the hand motions in her car seat.
That's
So,
cute.
and she's still got that sweet little singing voice that little kids have. She doesn't sound like me yet when I sing, so I like to hear her sing. But I've tried to talk to her and let her have time to talk back, and just now I know more of the questions to ask her, like, well, what did you do at church today, or what did you do with Dad this weekend, or what did you do at CBU last night while he was working? That's my mom. But my mom's too young to be her, so she's adopted. So just things like that, just more learning the questions to ask versus, oh, call her mom. What's up, dude? What's she?
Does your mom like to keep?
I live with her. So she told me last time, she said, oh, you know, I'm going to live when you're not here. I said, there is going to come a time where you can't see her every day. And she said, no, actually not. And I said, are you going to be in my classroom? Because I'm going to live there. That's where I'll be living. Jolie and I won't put that there.
I was gonna say, I felt like this semester, honestly, like our classes on Wednesday nights was honestly like a call-in radio talk show or something. Because I felt like the things that we're learning for our classrooms, automatically we see them every day in our lives. And so what I'm learning for my classroom, I can implement in my life at any time. And it's crazy how things like correlate between the two. And so I did pick up on communication a lot better, or I've learned to communicate a lot better between my family and friends. And if I need help, I can ask for help, and if other people need help from me, they can come to me. And so I think it's my relationships have gotten better, just vocalizing what, like, what was it? The iMessage, like I have to say what I'm feeling and what I feel when this happens, or I have to communicate better. Like, which I've been nannying for, I don't know, I'll be 23 next month, and I've probably been watching kids since I was 10 years old, and I don't even know how parents left me with kids. But I mean, I've been watching a girl since she was 18 months old, and she'll be 7 in June.
Really?
So it's crazy to see the developmental stages and just learning to communicate through the stages. So as they get older, I get scared because I don't know how to communicate with bigger kids, because I've been from babies to maybe 3 or 4, and with her getting older, you have to change your approach sometimes. And so using the one-on-ones, I'm a firm believer. I've been using the choice principle for years, because I've seen too many parents say, would you like this, 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 or do you want this? And I'm just like, you either get this or this, and they're always two positive things. So that's good for the kids. And so I just think communication is great. And so I think that's how I've changed, changing my sentences of this is how I feel, or I need this, or I want this. And so I think it's opened up a lot of communication between my family and friends and the kids that I babysit for, and they respond better to me, and bonds are formed. So I think that's a great thing.
Do you see parents doing a lot of things that you know that they shouldn't?
I've been fortunate enough that I have, like, I can count on my hand the families that I've been with. Like, I've been with families for years. So before, I've had multiple kids and families even before they were born. So I've seen them from in their mom's belly to however old they are now. So I've seen families grow. But I've had a couple families, I've babysat for them, and it just didn't end up working out, just because of the fact that their kids ruled the house, and I would try certain things, but then it would just turn back to the parents, and it just, you know that you have to break that bond, because I tried so hard to please the parents and work with the kids, and it didn't work. But then I can also look at other families, and they invite me to things with their families, and it's just a bond created. So I know that it's positive, and I know keeping connections are a great thing, but sometimes you have to let it go. Like one of the families, the mom would be like, "What would you like for dinner? Would you like this, or would you like this?" And the kid just goes in a million different directions and doesn't even want to eat dinner and do this, and it's like, "Would you like pasta or chicken tonight?" And then if they don't choose, then you say, "Well, I can choose or you can choose." And so I think it's giving them boundaries, and some parents just give way too many, and I think that's a hard thing to look at, but I just had to end that.
Yeah, those children become obnoxious too.
Yeah, I just couldn't keep up with it, so I just had to let it go and acknowledge that I have other better relationships out there, so.
And you were smart to let go of
Yeah.
that, because you just can't let them all.
Oh, and I know, and that's the hardest thing, is we try and please, and then some kids, you just gotta let it go, so.
Well, anybody else want to add anything? It's been nice to have you here. Were all of you scared to come to the Charles Study Center? Yes. We have a bad reputation out there, do we?
It's a warm welcome.
I think it's way more intense in grad than it is in undergrad.
It's made me way more
Intense for a graduate student versus an undergrad student. You know, the undergrad students can come, you know, and stay that day. They just sit back and watch, where we are constantly hands-on. Like, I'm teaching this whole entire week, like, rote talk every single day last week. Like, that's a lot of work to do. Lessons, circle time, materials, you know. We've already spent
the worst.
We've already spent, you know, like $100 out of our pockets to do these lessons and things like that. It's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot.
And then I can say I was a little scared about the little mirror observation room thing. Like that kind of freaks me out. Just knowing that people would be watching me. That would,
Yeah, I've been in all the observation rooms. This week, last week, since you've been here, and oftentimes I don't come into rooms because, but our teachers feel like it keeps you being on your toes, and there are a lot of people who feel that all of the classrooms should have observation rooms, so so the teachers know that at any time they could be watched, and it would keep you positive. It would keep you knowing that somebody's not watching.
I forget about that.
That's
I know,
good.
I come in.
I did too, but like thinking about, I knew coming in that was
And just bring experience and watch.
I think it's great for parents, because parents always want to know exactly what's happening in the classroom. And here you can say, please come watch. And you're going to see
They want to interrupt the class.
what,
right during
yeah.
Well, thank you for what you've done here, and I appreciate your attitudes about it.